guys sick of capitalism?
Sure am. Tell me about communism.
Okay, so, yeah, I mean, I guess what would you say are some of the things that you think in society are,
I just don't think that there should be any billionaires.
Yeah, oh, we agree.
I'm talking about if we were a communist government and we took control of communism, would take control of Amazon, would that be the right thing to do?
Yes, after the revolution, under workers' government, yes, we would absolutely take control of
And what do you mean
these.
by revolution? How do we have a successful revolution?
So the active revolution, a lot of people think, oh, violent, bloody. No, like...
I can see why she would say that revolutions don't have to be bloody. This is Ella's Instagram, and in it she calls to abolish the police. It is much easier to have a revolution if there's no police. Now she's wearing the hammer and sickle, so let's place her into communist Russia under Stalin and see how she would do. This is her old license with an M on it for male, and her new license with an F for female.
So that's independent journalist Nate Friedman diving into this so-called communist protest, or at least communist roundtable event, where you can find out more information. It happens in New York City. Speaking with this person here, who apparently has an interesting backstory.
Yeah, revolutionary communists of America. If you're just finding out this exists like we are, buckle up. This comes as self-declared Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani, currently leading the polls to be the next mayor of New York City, America's largest city, a cultural icon, obviously, the financial capital of our nation. His critics, including President Trump, have called him a communist. The man on your screen, Trump calling him a communist. Nate Friedman is the independent journalist who was at the protest, obviously put together that piece. Nate, thanks so much for coming on the broadcast. This is just having a candid conversation. It's fascinating to watch and to really learn about the different ideologies that were out there. You were kind of tested in that moment, weren't you? She wanted to make sure that you were on her side, that you shared the same beliefs and ideologies, and you were able to pull that off and to get a little bit more information. Walk us through that.
Yeah, I think, not wanting billionaires is a common talking point amongst the radical left. And, that's what I started with. And you can see New York is not going to be the same if the billionaires leave. They fund the majority of our taxes. So I just wanted to learn more about what she stands for.
Yeah, you spoke to another person who also appeared very supportive of communism. Here's that.
When has communism actually been enacted in practice? Has it ever been in practice?
They certainly tried.
Has it ever? It's never been in practice, though, right? So we can never say whether or not it worked if it's never been tried, right?
Okay, it's a historic inevitability. What about Lenin? He tried. How did that go?
Right, they were a state that was transitioning from a kind of semi-feudal technological level, Tsarist Russia, transitioning into socialism. If you want to talk about places that tried, Fidel and Castro was never a Marxist himself, right? That was not.
Yes, he was. And again, this guy is proving that the Palestine stuff and communism is completely interlinked, which is why I've called these protests anti-West protests.
He just wants to see it play out. Give communism a really good chance, right? He thinks it could be different this time around. But I guess he's got time for a number of topics and interests that he shares, including pro-Palestinian movements. What do you make of this guy?
Yeah, so, when I see people like this, they position themselves right outside of another larger protest. This is a fringe group. Take No Kings, for example, the same thing. I actually spoke to two of the same guys at the No Kings protest, and they're recruiting members just as they were right outside the Palestine protest, which is why I continuously call them anti-West rallies, because what they want is the downfall of capitalism in the West.
Yeah, let me play that, actually. We do have it. This is from New York City this weekend. We talk a lot about the No Kings protests and what they stand for. You spoke to some of the participants in New York.
Do you feel like Trump is a king?
I don't. I'm not going to get into a political conversation with you. I'm here to marshal and keep people safe.
Does that mean you guys are working with the NYPD?
Yes, we talked to them.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. That's interesting. But is there like a briefing before, like that you guys work with the
NYPD?
Yeah.
No.
So how do they know that like you're out there marshaling with them?
They're not blind.
And neither am I. This is you calling ICE thugs, and with a $50,000 bounty on ICE agents, you have blood on your hands. This is you taking it a step further and calling them the Gestapo. Back again at a different protest, and again and again. The company she works for is Rise and Resist.
Whoa. Talk to us about this. I mean, what was the giveaway? How did you know about those folks in general to talk to and their background?
Well, they've got Rise and Resist labeled on the back of their vest. They're discussing what's going to be happening with the protest. And I just want to make note of one of those photos of her calling ICE thugs. This is the rhetoric that killed my friend Charlie Kirk. When you continuously call us fascists and Nazis, you're calling us Nazis so you can kill us, not because we are Nazis. That's the distinctive difference.
Labeling, yeah.
Yeah, the violent rhetoric we've seen, unfortunately, and we do pray that everyone remains safe and that protesters who want to gather and spend their Saturdays protesting no kings, they have every right to do so. They just remain peaceful. Okay, I wanted to talk to you about another conversation you had, and that was with Curtis Sliwa, which is a really fascinating one. He's obviously running to be the next mayor of New York. He's competing against Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo, and there's some questions about where his voters could go if perhaps he wanted to drop out. You asked him about it. Here's that.
I think it is clear to New Yorkers who are against Mamdani that you and Cuomo are splitting the anti-Mamdani vote. So my question is simple. Are you okay if Mamdani wins that you, so to speak, contributed to that?
Well, number one, Ackman is a jerk. Does he know anything about politics? No. Does he live in New York City? No. He lives in Chapaka, the whitest suburb of America, where even the lawn jockeys are white. So let's say people come to the conclusion, if somehow I lose, and we know Andrew Cuomo's lost, he's already tossed in the town. Oh, it's because of you, Curtis. Really? It's because of the Democrats. Wait a second. Who created Zohran Mamdani? Who embraced him? Who nourished him? Who supported him?
That is so Curtis Sliwa in the response, by the way. And it's true. Democrats did have a primary. The winner was Zohran Mamdani. The question is, what will happen when you open up the election and you could have independents voting and participating, maybe Republicans who would choose a different candidate this time around? Did you want to expand on ultimately what led you to that question?
Yes, absolutely. So when I watched the debate, I really didn't feel like the candidates were given ample time to explain their positions, and I didn't want to ask the question that Curtis has received a lot, which is, will you drop out? It's been no. But I wanted to understand if he, knew that, look, if you continuously run, the New Yorkers are saying that, you're going to be helping out Mamdani. I wanted to know what his response was that, and he gave it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to your point, an AARP poll came out, Mamdani 43%, Cuomo 29, Sliwa 19. If you don't split the vote and Sliwa is out, again, not saying yes or no, just showing you what the poll shows, it would be Mamdani at 45 and Cuomo at 41. That would be the closest gap that you would see, according to the AARP
Assuming
polling.
those Sliwa voters go out and say, all right, I'll vote for Cuomo. And that's not guaranteed.
That's his argument.
Itself, right.
Exactly. Right. What has Cuomo done to reach out to Sliwa voters? I haven't seen much.
A few weeks away, by the way, from that one. That's a big one to watch.